This is my Watford and Sheffield United combined 11. So you'll know I do one of these before every Blades match day. Of course, we're taking on Watford tomorrow. So of course, I'm building a combined 11 based on form and fitness. If they're injured, I'm not including them. But let's just get straight into it, starting off with the keeper. In net, I'm going for Watford Selvik. Obviously, when your number one keeper's out for the season, it's hard to compare a number two to a number one at another club. I don't think Adam Davies has been awful these last few games, but Selvik is still a better keeper. So I think it was a pretty simple choice in net, to be fair. At right back, I'm going for Femi Sariki. I believe Ngakia will be missing this game, otherwise he could have gone into his team. I think Sariki's gone on the radar a bit this season. He's a solid right back, one of the best in the league potentially. And like I just mentioned for the keeper, when the number one for that position is out, obviously you can't compare him properly. For my two centre backs, one from each team, I'm going for Pollock and Tanganga. Of course, starting with Sheffield United's inclusion, Tanganga's been solid the last few games, on some decent form again. And I've got to say, he certainly looks better with Mark McGuinness next to him, which is quite interesting. Hopefully he can take this good form into next season and be solid at the back alongside a new partner. And for Watford, their inclusion, of course, Matty Pollock has been solid this season. He probably hasn't been their best centre back. I think that Mfuni's been decent as well. But like I mentioned at the start of the video, he's injured, so I won't be including him. But I think Matty Pollock definitely gets in over our centre backs. For the left back, I'm going for Harrison Burrows. Watford have got quite a few injuries in defence, including Mark Boller, who would be in this left back spot. But he's injured, so I can't include him. Of course, Burrows is next in line, I reckon. Because the other guy is that Petris. I don't know too much about him. I don't think he's very good. And Burrows, he's not had a brilliant season, but he's not been awful either. And of course, he's still got 4 goals, 4 assists from left back, which isn't awful. So that's why he's going in this team. For my two centre mids, I'm going for Sidney Peck and Imran Louza. I don't even need to justify Imran Louza. Of course, he's been one of the best midfielders in the league this season. And not just one of the best midfielders, probably one of the best players. I don't watch Watford too much, but whenever I do, he seems to stand out. Of course, 7 goals, 9 assists speaks for itself. Apart from that, I don't think Watford's midfield is brilliant, so I'll put Sidney Peck in there. And of course, we all know about Sidney Peck's quality. Of course, he's a brilliant midfielder, attacking and defensive wise. Last couple of games, he's not been at his best, but when he is at his best, he's a brilliant midfielder for this level. On the right was a very tough decision. I'm going for Andre Brooks. I could have put Iran Kunda, and he's been brilliant, especially recently. Iran Kunda might have more potential, but I think this season Andre Brooks just about edges it. But I've got to say, it is very close. They're two brilliant players. I mean, you know how much I love that right-hand side of Sariki and Brooks. I speak about them all the time. And like I've mentioned before, Brooks' dribbling is just out of this world sometimes. He just takes on 2 or 3 players full of confidence. And I think he could be a decent Premier League player if he works on his decision-making mainly. In attacking mid, it's an obvious choice. It's Callum O'Hare. Despite not being on the best of form recently, he's still been solid over the season. I mean, the 9 goals, 6 assists speaks for itself, really. But his game's more than that. Of course, he covers every single blade of grass, pretty much every single game. And I think he's definitely worthy inclusion in this team. On the left, of course, it's Gustavo Harmer. Who else would it be? Especially second half of the season, he's been absolutely brilliant. Of course, 4 goals, 11 assists over the campaign. I mean, the chances he creates for the team as well, just so vital. It'd be a shame if he goes in the summer. But I think he will. It'll be unfortunate. It'll be hard to replace that. And up front, it's a tough choice, but I'm going for Kerumgard. That Kerumgard's got 1 more goal than Bamford with more games played. But Bamford's been out of form the last few weeks. I think it's right to put the Watford striker in. Like I've mentioned, I can't say I've watched too much Watford, but of course 10 goals is no mean feat. And judging by the stats overall, he's been a brilliant player for Watford this season.